Hey everybody, Dave here from Blue Bears Games with another edition of $20 budget decks. This is the second of the third new decks I made for the con coming up this week. It is Infinite Elves. It is basically a token generator that goes infinite. So let's go ahead and take a look. It is a green-white deck, so you should know by now what that is. So this is a semi-Soul Sisters, semi-infinite combo. So it's half and half. So, we start with Soul Warden. It says whenever any other creature comes into play, you gain a life. That includes your opponents. So I put a play set of them in there. Is to help you gain life because you're just trying to set up your combo. So you kind of want to stay alive. So you're going to need to gain as much life as you can because there's not a whole lot of blocking creatures going on. So if you face a red burn aggro deck or a green stompy deck, it's going to be kind of hard to live. So for every creature they put in play, at least you gain a life. Got a play set of those in. Now, I didn't have the other half of the Soul Sisters, so I went with the Foe Sister, which is Suture Priest. And that's 2 to cast 1/1 that whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. And the good part about this is to help you whittle your opponent down is whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you may have that player lose a life. So you can gain on yours, they lose on theirs. I got 2 of those in there. The first half of our infinite combo is Midnight Guard, 3 to cast 2/3 that whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you untap him. Keep that in mind. I'll show you where the combo comes from if you haven't seen it before. It's kind of neat. So I got 4 of them in there. And there's not a lot of creatures in this deck. That may be it, minus a couple in the rare slot. You're not going to need them. The whole point of this deck is to survive and then to find the 2 combo pieces. The first one being Midnight Guard. So, to keep you alive, I've got a playset of pacifisms to make it so your creatures can't attack. A playset of compulsory rests. I found that it's also cheaper to cast, it's cheap to cast this, and it helps to keep other creatures from attacking them. The only issue is that they can sacrifice their creature to gain 2 life. Shouldn't be too much of a problem because if you get the infinite combo out, it's game over anyway. So I went with them because they're cheap to cast, so you can keep yourself alive for a lot longer. So I got a play set of those. Open the Armory. I only had 2 of these. I couldn't find any more. It says search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Now that's important. There are 2 pieces to this puzzle. One of them is a protection and one of them is the actual combo. One is an equipment, one is an aura. So depending on if you've found one of the pieces or not, will be the deciding factor as to what you choose for Open the Armory. There are 2 choices here, and I'll explain each one and which situation you need to find either one. Some O-rings, just because it's important to get rid of non-lands, anything non-land. That could be enchantments and artifacts as well. So I got 2 of those in there. I got a play set of Rampant Growths in here. The Rampant Growths are to thin your deck of land. Also, if you can get one of these off second turn and you can get it, a 3rd land to play on second turn, and then on 4th turn have 4 lands, you're ahead of the game. You do need 6 mana if you want to do it on 1 turn, so I'm trying to, find ways to get you to that 6 drop as fast as possible. So, you don't have to do it all on 1 turn. You can do it turn 3, drop it for 3, the Midnight Guard, and then turn 4, drop the other piece. But Rampant Growths are to help so that you can get to your pieces quicker than out your deck. Alright, Commune with the Gods. There is a small little thing here with Commune with the Gods. I'll read it to you and I'll tell you what it is. So for 2, you can reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Then you put a creature or enchantment card from among them into your hand. Put the rest in your graveyard. I don't really like playing with cards that put the rest in your graveyard, but I found a way to make that work in your favor. And I'll show you that in a second. So with this card, you're looking for the Midnight Guard, if you didn't already grab one. Or you're looking for the other half of the combo. Or you're trying to find something to put in the graveyard specifically, and I'll explain that one in a second. I'm going to play a set of those in there so that you can get to what you need to. Nature's Spiral is return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Everything in here is a permanent. The auras are permanents. Everything in here pretty much is a permanent. So everything in there, the green ones, it specifically says, it doesn't say green. It just says a permanent. Some of these cards that return from your graveyard that are green say specifically green. This one does not, so I like this one a little bit more than the other ones. And again, other than the Open the Vault or whatever it was called, none of these cards in this deck can't be a target of this. So I'm going to go ahead and, what was it called? Was it called Open the Vault? I think it was. So I went ahead and put 2 of those in there just in case a piece of the puzzle that goes infinite somehow didn't stay in play for, say, spot removal of some sort. I put 2 of those in there just in case. So, the other part of the infinite combo is Presence of Gond. Okay? It's 3. Enchanted creature has tap it to put a 1/1 green elf warrior token into play. That's the infinite part. So, Midnight Guard itself. It says, whenever another creature enters the battlefield, untap him. Presence of Gond says tap a creature to put a 1/1 green elf into play. You attach it to the Midnight Guard, tap it, make it an elf. It untaps itself upon the entering of the elf. So, that is the infinite part of this. I was going to put in some stuff that beef up your creatures when you've got them, but I figured if you go infinite, who the hell cares what size they are? They could be 1/1s for life. You know, as long as there are an infinite amount of them. Minus if somebody pulls out an instant that deals 1 damage to all creatures, you know, that could be devastating. But it doesn't kill the Midnight Guard, so once that resolves, you just make more. So it's Presence of Gond, Midnight Guard, that's your infinite combo. You're trying to find this card with Midnight Guard in play. That is the whole purpose of this deck. That is what the open the armory is for. That is what the Commune with the Gods is for, to find one of the pieces. Either the Midnight Guard or the Presence of Gond. So that is the only thing you're trying to do in this deck, and you're trying to do it as quickly as possible. You want to get it done, if you can, by 3rd turn. It would be great, and then you pretty much swarm and win. So I only had 2 of them. Unfortunately, I didn't have a playset, or else I would have put them in there. Now, for the other part of the equation, Mask of Avacyn I put in here. It's the equipment part that you can find with Commune with the Gods or Open the Armory. So the combo is sometimes kind of weak to certain colors and to spot removal. The point of the Mask of Avacyn is to hope to eliminate that spot removal from even being a possibility. The equipped creature gets +1/+2, so that makes the Midnight Guard a 3/5. That's most removal out of the way, as far as red goes. As far as black goes, with spot removal, though, it has, you know, no care in the world usually for the power and toughness. So it now also has hexproof. So this is to protect the combo. You don't necessarily need it, but you kind of want it just in case. So it's there to protect your combo. Now for the rares. The first thing I found was Assure and Assemble. We're probably not going to do the Assemble part. This card I found and put in here was for the Assure part. It was he put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and that creature gains indestructible until a turn. The reason for this card is to make Midnight Guard indestructible, so that in case there's spot removal, it saves him. It's a little surprise, haha, you didn't kill him kind of thing. Because your opponent could be searching for that one card that's going to kill him, and he gets it and you have that in your hand, you can say he doesn't die. So that's why Assure is in there. Now, for the other little combo in here that I put, Genesis. It's to help make it so that you can keep your creatures coming into play. It says, so it's a 5 to cast, 4/4. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, if Genesis is in your graveyard, you may pay 1 green and 2 of any, and if you do, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. So, you want Genesis in your graveyard because then you start churning things around, out. I said earlier, Commune with the Gods has a small combo. Normally, you don't want to put creatures or anything into your graveyard because then you lose that resource. However, with Genesis, you want them in your graveyard. So when you're using Commune with the Gods and you're trying to find your pieces for your infinite combo, you want Genesis to go into your graveyard so you can use his abilities on your upkeep. And that's to keep returning things like the Soul Warden or the, the Suture Priest. It also is to help you so that you can get a Midnight Guard, keep one in play. But it's very helpful if you've already got it in play or you want other things to come back in. If you have a Soul Warden in play and you want to keep returning a creature, It helps it so you can gain life. So that's the little techie combo I have in here with the Commune with the Gods in Genesis. You don't want to put things into your graveyard ever, but for some reason they made some cards that they do better in your graveyard. So I put Genesis in there to make the Commune with the Gods like graveyard filling a little less painful. Next up was Nissa's Renewal. It's kind of a crap rare, but the reason it's in there is to thin your deck out of lands. So if you're at 6 mana, so it's 5 and 1 green, search your library for up to 3 lands, basic lands, put them into play tapped, and then shuffle your library. You gain 7 life. It was more for the fact of thinning out your deck, gaining life, and it says basic lands, so if you're light on a color, like say for instance you only have green in play, you can go get those planes that you need if you didn't have any in play. So that's why that's in there. And the foil rare that I put in here, the special card anyway, is Eidolon of Blossoms. Reason for him, actually I would have put him in the deck even if it wasn't a foil, but I figured since I had it, and I always put at least one foil special card in, or at least one special card in to these decks, Eidolon of Blossoms fit in perfectly. It's kind of like those, I do the Hexproof Aura decks for on a budget. He fits just in the same slot. It's Forticaeus for the 2/2. There are so many enchantments in here that, you know, when he comes into play, or another enchantment comes into play, you draw a card. It's to help that engine, because green and white don't draw cards very well. It's to help you draw into your combo, or at least try to get there faster. So that's why Eidolon of Blossoms is in there. And now to the land. We are a 2-color deck, so it's going to be an even amount of plains and forests. And then, of course, a playset of Selesnya Guild Gates, so that you can get your green and white mana. And then 2 Evolving Wilds, so that you can thin out your deck of lands. My faux fetches, if you will. Thins out your lands and gets the right color that you need. So I got 2 of them in there. Alright, so that is the $20 budget deck, Infinite Elves. I put this together for the new con. It will be available, if it doesn't sell at the new con, it will be available at Geek Fest in the spring when I go there. So, as usual, if you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and do so below. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I need some subscribers. I'm trying to get my channel named. What else do I got? Not a whole lot. Like I said, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video. I got a lot of videos up there. Like the video. I work my ass off to get these to go. So, please give me some encouragement. Alright? So that's it for today. That's my budget, $20 budget deck, Infinite Elves. Thank you and have a good day.